What's going on YouTube? This is ParkerLad88 coming at you with another video. Today I've got another deck profile for you guys, doing an update to my much beloved Lord of the Red deck. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and get started with our monster lineup. First, we're going to start off by running 3 copies of our boss monster in the form of Lord of the Red. So if you guys don't remember from my last deck profile, Lord of the Red has an ability that says whenever a card or effect is activated, he can pop a monster. And then he has another effect that says whenever a card or effect is activated, he can pop a spell trap. This is once per turn during either player's turn. So basically what that means is, during either player's turn, I have the opportunity to basically pop a monster and spell trap, every turn, and this effect does stack. So this is our main guy as far as like control and whatnot. I love this card to death. Next up, we have a new addition in the form of a more factor pain, the Imagination Drake Overlord. So I read this thing and I was like, oh shoot, it's an 8. This synergizes perfectly with my deck. Let's go ahead and talk about what it does in addition to having just a wonderful stat line. So whenever this guy is ritual summon, your opponent skips the next main phase 1, which is just hilarious. And then it also negates the effects of synchros, fusions, and exceeds that are face up on the field. So skill drain for extra deck monsters outside of pendulums. So very, very good, complements this deck very well. Moving into our other monsters, if you're still running the Heretic engine in the form of 3 copies of the 8-star ball, we have 2 copies of a set, and then 2 copies of Tefnuit down. I cut these down to 2 apiece just because I want to put more focus on getting to my rituals faster, and this is actually working out pretty well for me so far in just like test hands and actually testing. So what a set does is basically you can target a normal monster that you control, and all Heretic monsters become a level of that, and then you have the Cyber Dragon in the form of Heretic Dragon Tefnuit. So basically you use the rituals, tribute them, and then because they were tribute, they get their effects, which helps you bring out the 8-star ball and go for rank 8 plays. And the rank 8 pool is pretty good. Next up, we have 3 copies of Manchu. Allows you to search for ritual spells or the monsters. We have 1 Sonic Bird, and then we have 1 Manju. Sonic Bird lets you search for the rituals, and then the ritual spells, and Senju lets you search for rituals, just extra consistency. And then we're trying 1 copy of Lecter Pendulum, the Drake Overlord. I might replace this with the other one, the one that negates stuff in the pendulum zones, but right now this was the only one that I had, so I figured I would try to run it just to get an extra little bit of recursion off of a more factor pain, because when a more factor pain I think is destroyed by battle or card effect, or I can't remember if it's sent to the graveyard. Basically, whenever it dies, it has the ability to search you Drake Overlord monster. So I want to try and abuse that and run this. I might run them both, just because it'd also be an easy siding out option as well. So, I don't know. I'll test it out and see how I like it. Also, the fact that it's 1950, it synergizes very well with Dragon Spine, so I like that too. So, let's move all that up there and move into the spells. We have 3 copies of Trade-In. Gotta run it. I can search all of my Trade-In fodder, so I gotta run 3 copies of it. Advanced Ritual Art is at 3, so we run 3 copies of it. It's amazing. If this card didn't exist, I wouldn't be running Rituals. 3 is Heretic Seal of Convocation. Search out our Heretics for whatever need. Trade-In fodder, go for rank 8 plays, all that kind of stuff. 2, free Preparation of Rites. It lets you search for the ritual spell and the respective ritual monster from your deck or graveyard for that ritual spell. And our other ritual spell is Red Eye's Transmigration, so that we can actually run this. I don't need 3 because then I have to run 3 copies of this, and I don't want to do that just for extra consistency, just because like sometimes I'll draw into this and I only have 1 left, and I don't need all those extra pre-preps, if I can't make them live. So then we have 2 copies of MST. I can run Twin Twister in this deck because pre-preparation of rites lets me get back rituals from my graveyard, but I still just feel more comfortable running MST and siding in Twin Twister if I need to. And then 1 copy of Fulfillment of Contract. When that new revival spell from the new structure deck for Felgrand comes out, I'll replace it with that because it gives them an extra layer of protection. But for the meantime, this is still good. You pay 100 life and you special summon a ritual monster from your graveyard. Probably a lot of the new score players haven't heard of this card, but it's just a monster reborn. Moving into our traps, we have Dragon's Bond. So this plus Lord of the Red is pretty much your win condition. The fun thing you can do with this, you can flip it at any time in order to activate Lord of the Red's effect, just to like pop something. But what this thing does is basically, you basically target a dragon that you control, and they basically just become linked to each other. I'm not reading off the specific effect, but your opponent is then unable to special summon monsters with equal to or less attack than it. So basically, you equip it to Lord of the Red, your opponent can't special summon anything that's 2400 or lower. Oh, I got 3 vanities. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I like it. It's the win condition. Then we have Solemn Strike, Warning, Solemn Strike, and then we have Jar of Avarice. You blow through cards in your deck so quick in this, between Advanced Ritual Art and going for rank 8 plays and stuff like that, that it's nice to have a little bit of recurability just to keep your Advanced Ritual Arts live, or if you need to, in order to keep your pre-preps alive for the 2 we're running. So I think Jar of Avarice is a good choice. Alright, moving into the extra deck. Rank 8s, we have Prime Photon Dragon. We have Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxy, and gotta run it. Mostly just for getting rid of those pesky pendulums. You can detach an Xyz material from him in order to switch an attack target to him, so it gives an extra layer of protection to Lord of the Red. And then if another Xyz dies, you can like do something to have it gain its attack or something like that. Not an effect that many people use, but it's still a thing. Next up, we have one Lancelot, Dark Knight of the Underworld. I like this guy because he pokes directly for 2000, which is pretty good in the late game. He has a mandatory effect that negates spell, trap, and monster effects. You detach an Xyz material from that. So if you have, if you're dealing with a deck that kind of relies on its normal summon or doesn't have a lot of options for, you know, advancing its game state, it's also good for that. And then if this guy attacks you directly and actually deals damage, he can pop a face-up card, which is good. Happens during the damage step, so your opponent can't respond with a bunch of stuff, so it's pretty good. We have one Heretic Drake Overlord of Heliopolis, or just Heretic Sun Dragon of... Wow, I can't say this name properly. Heretic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis. I'm sorry that was so painful that you guys had to sit through that. Anyway, we got some heretics in here. This guy doesn't target, so that's always good. We have 2 copies of my Tamashii Divine Dragon Knight Felgran. I will always run him in a rank 8 deck if I have the option to. I've been thinking about cutting him down to 1 and getting 2 Hope Harbinger Dragon Titanic Galaxies, but I don't know. I like Felgran though. He'll always be great. We have 1 copy of 107 Tachyon Dragon. Got the whole family here, and then 1 full armor Photon Dragon. I don't run Dark Matter Dragon just because I don't want to be tossing dragons willy-nilly from my deck just to remove 3 cards that my opponent can actually choose from. I don't think that effect is all that great. Plus, I don't always see Jar of Avarice that frequently, so that's another reason why I don't think it's a very good idea to do that. Moving into the 4s, we have this Dweller, Castell, Dr. Smiles, Utopia the Lightning, the obligatory Utopia to go with it, Queen Dragon Gen. This is a deck full of dragons, helps us, you know, extend and go for those rank 8 plays. And then 1 Cowboy, you know, just for going for a game, because there aren't very many situations in which I have rank 4s on board all the time. But the couple of times where I can actually get multiple Manjus, it's an option. I just want to have those options there. So that does it for the extra deck. So guys, this was my update to my Lord of the Red deck, now with Drake Overlord power. Let me know what you guys think of this, and I'll be back at you later with future videos. This is Parker Lad, out.